When scientists are using phrases like biological annihilation, we're in the 6th mass species extinction event. Wildlife has been destroyed by habitat destruction, overhunting, toxic pollution, alien species and climate change. In 2019, the IPPR came out with a paper, so it was earlier this year, facing up to the age of environmental breakdown, saying that mainstream debates have failed to recognise this, that the change is happening at an unprecedented scale, and that all the outcomes include economic instability and large-scale involuntary migration, conflict, famine, and the potential collapse of social and economic systems. What we achieved in April, who took part in the April Rebellion? Thank you, thank you. What we achieved in the April Rebellion, you can see graphs of it, another nice graph. Goes through the roof. This is the Greta Thunberg school strike effect as well. David Attenborough's films, the IPCC reports, the weather, Mark Carney's statement, you know, all of these things. But there's actually a moment in April when it goes through the roof for the Extinction Rebellion. We have got the conversation happening. 10% of the population do 50% of the carbon emissions. If they would reduce their carbon emissions to that of the average European, carbon emissions would go down by a third. So, you know, we are part of that 10%. That's why it matters what we do. It matters what we do as a piece of integrity, and I'm the first to say I'm not squeaky clean on any of this. But it's a matter of integrity, but it does affect. And also there's something about social permission more than anything. It's not just, you know, if you choose not to fly for your summer holidays, do make a deal of it. You don't mean shaming your friends, you know what I mean? A friend of mine, Donica McCarthy, refuses to hit the like button on his friend's holidays over to Spain. So it's just somehow going, that's okay. It's like, it's not alright, to be honest. And I'm not sorry if anybody's going to Spain this year. You can get there by train. I think I just mentioned HS2 there, you know, because, well, I'm going to tell you, I've fucking told everybody this, I may as well say, I got fan mail off Chris Packham. It's like actually the highlight of my life, I think. He's great. He's one of your biggest fans. I was fucking chuffed to tell you. Do you can come and see? I'll show you later. Anyway, I need to get over it actually, but I really enjoy it. I just finished with someone, I was just split up with somebody, so I was a bit ego wounded. It's just proved my... I did check him out actually, see if he's single, but he's not, so there you go. HS2, he's just done a video with Jonathan Pye. Have you seen Jonathan Pye's video at HS2? Let's spread that far and wide. We need an XR action to highlight HS2, because it's a carbon crime, it's a democratic crime, and it's a biodiversity loss crime, right? These massive infrastructure projects, if they're going to happen, we're not telling the truth. I think a lot of our actions in the next few months need to be not telling the truth, government, Heathrow expansion, not telling the truth, government, HS2, and especially not telling the truth, government, fracking. So I just think it's worth saying that the causes of this crisis are also the causes of the other crises that we're facing in our health service, with the tax dodging, with how we treat our armed service people, with what we're doing to disabled people, what we're doing to people on welfare. They've got a very similar cause we talked about at the separation. And so, maybe just to finish this section from Dr. Kate Marvel from the NASA's Goddard Institute. She said, to be a climate scientist is to be an active participant in a slow-motion horror story. I'm a mum, my boys are back there, I think. I want to listen to this crap again. Part of me was just thinking, what's this crisis that's going to come at some point, but maybe it's for somebody else, somewhere else, some other time. Do you know what I mean? It's just that kind of, yeah. And that's not because we're bad people, although I do think that we have to look at where the racism sits in that, when it's privilege here and what's happening elsewhere. You know, easier to have your head in the sand in some ways, except I don't think it is. So when we're talking about this crisis, the science, the physics and the ecology, we can get into the details of it, and welcome, you know, the whole thing with this talk is that we package it up and you can give it in your own hometown. You could just, if you're too nervous to give it, although these times require us to step forward in courage, right? Challenge ourselves. Enjoy the next singer, and thank you.